How's everyone?
You have reached your destination.
All right. If you ever have anything you want me to talk about, make sure you jump into the Discord, hit up that Kid News Corner channel, and drop whatever article you would like me to talk about. First off, I'm going to jump into just a quick article about George R.R. Martin has been teasing an Elden Ring movie or TV series. It's been rumored for a little while, but more and more people are kind of speculating that there is something going on, and a little bit of words from George have kind of made people a little more suspect. Adaptation. I mean, listen, if anything needs an adaptation, probably Elden Ring's one of them. The story is it's very Souls-like in that sometimes it's difficult to parse everything out. Like, even if you can find, items and read stuff and do all that kind of stuff, it's still not always super clear what's going on. Like, people can usually get like a surface level of what's happening, but a full thing. But also, it's George R.R. Martin, who is one of the guys who worked on writing for Elden Ring, so hot on the heels of the release of the DLC Shadow of the Erdtree, George R.R. Martin has teased an Elden Ring movie or TV shows. In a post on his blog, the Game of Thrones author wrote about winning awards, and in doing so strongly suggested an adaptation of FromSoft's masterpiece is intended in the works. Oh, sorry, this is a quote from him. Oh, about those rumors you may have heard about a feature film or television series based on Elden Ring. I have nothing to say. Not a word. Nope, not a thing. I know nothing. You never heard a peep from me. Mum. What rumor? So obviously people are seeing this and kind of taking it as a hint that there's probably something going on. But that'd be kind of interesting. I feel like Elden Ring is one of the ones that has like a pretty interesting story, at least. So I wouldn't mind a little adaptation, a little thing. Nintendo says the best way to stop Switch 2 scalpers is to make enough consoles to meet customer demand. It's just that easy. I saw this and I had to laugh because, I mean, listen, Nintendo's like, it's just that easy, guys. But obviously, this was not the case when the Switch came out. They said the component shortage issue has now been resolved, so we're good now. They should have no issues making enough consoles to meet demand. Nintendo has said the most effective strategy for beating the inevitable Switch 2 scalpers is to make enough consoles to meet demand. When Switch 2 launched back in March 2017, it suffered from a constrained supply, boosting scalpers who sold the console at inflated prices. In recent years, the manufacturer of the Switch was affected by a shortage of components, making it hard to find. And speaking in an investor-focused Q&A translated by IGN, Nintendo director Shantaro Furukawa said things will be different when it comes to the launch of the Switch successor. As a countermeasure against resale, we believe that the most important thing is to produce a sufficient number to meet customer demand. This idea has not changed since last year. In addition to this, we are considering whether there are any other measures that can be taken to the extent allowed by law and regulation, taking into the account the circumstances of each region. I mean, listen. If everybody who wants to get a Switch can get a Switch, that's always great news. But like, or a Switch 2 or whatever. But that seems like a lofty goal. It seems like a lot. I feel like everybody who's like, yeah, I would like to have enough to be able to meet the demand, which means they must be having the production already kind of working on these, or they're gonna have to have them working pretty quickly. Just don't buy from scalpers. People don't want to, but sometimes people are desperate for whatever reason. They are desperate, and then they decide that they should buy from scalpers, and I agree, you should never buy from scalpers. I don't know, for whatever, like I said, one reason or another, people do, and then they keep on being able to do whatever they want. I also this next one I'm going to talk about, Cyclo dropped in the Discord but not in the news channel, and then I've seen it been getting like more and more love. And then I saw Monster Hunter Reddit also was questioning like why this is not getting bigger attention, which I get it, but like yeah, Monster Hunter Reddit is always a little more defensive about themselves, but cool nonetheless. So scientists have found a new eyeless spider and named it after a blind flying wyvern from Monster Hunter. That's the guy, right, dude? The Kezu. Monster Hunter gamer. I mean, yeah, obviously, if you don't know what this, like, if you don't, you would not name it after this thing, you know, if you weren't, right? Scientists, the original nerd, occasionally like to remind us of that fact by influencing the real world with geeky references, this time with a spider named after a flying beastie from Monster Hunter. As reported by VG247, a newly discovered spider from China has been named the Octacilla Kezu, after Kezu, the flying wyvern from Monster Hunter. Why do spiders and flying wyverns have in common? Nothing really, but this spider has no eyes, just like its namesake. Kezu, which looks like a fairly normal wyvern from the shoulders down, but quickly break tradition with an incredible long neck, giant fanged monster, and retracting eyes due to spending most of the time in darkness. Retracted eyes? I mean, does it I guess it had eyes at some point and they retracted. Were introduced long back in Monster Hunter, in the original Monster Hunter in 2004. To pop culture references, why not, man? The next one is another Elden Ring one, but this one is just a good time because it's a good time. So apparently there is I don't know if he's like a streamer, but he's definitely like a hardcore gamer who calls themselves Let Me Solo Her. And this was a guy who, or a person, I don't know their, you know, them or anything, but they, in the original Elden Ring base game, they would have you summon them, and then they would be the hardest person in that game for you. You would have to do nothing. All you have to do is summon them, and as their name says, let me solo her. And so they have finally defeated the final boss in Shadow of the Erdtree after a 3-hour marathon that left them shaking. This guy is this person is really cool. They all they have is like, it's just usually like not a completely nude, but like a no armor torso, and then they have just a big pot on their head, and that's the only thing they do. And it's really cool. They were switching over to fighting one of the harder bosses in the new DLC, and having people summon him in to do that fight, which was pretty cool. But yeah, finally beat the final boss. The Elden Ring community's favorite folk hero, Let Me Solo Her, has finally completed the Shadow of the Erdtree DLC after a streaming marathon spanning multiple days, during which he struggled repeatedly against the DLC's final boss. And then just a picture of the final boss is kicking my butt right now. So there are some I guess some spoilers for Shadow of the Erdtree. I can here's what I can do actually. Let me do this. I'm gonna take a look real quick and see if there's actually anything worth covering real quick. It took him about 74 attempts, several hours, attempts over 2 days. Holy crap, my fingers are actually trembling right now. He said upon victory, I'm shaking. So it doesn't look like there's much of anything else. Yeah, really, really cool stuff. I just thought this was an interesting thing, because the person is just such like a such a hero in the Elden Ring community. And then for it to kind of, all this new stuff come out, and then it's taken him a little bit of work, but gotten to that point, and people have kind of really rallied and everything. So really, really, really cool stuff. So Capcom has confirmed the next Resident Evil game is in development and will be led by the Resident Evil 7 director. So Capcom had a little showcase yesterday as called their Capcom Next showcase or whatever, and they were just kind of going over some of the things that they're going to be coming out with over the next little while that were not Monster Hunter. Apparently they very much keep on having to state in all of their conferences and releases that this will not contain any Monster Hunter stuff because they know people are going to be pissed if they tune in for something and there's no Monster Hunter. With rumors flying that Resident Evil 9 is on the verge of being revealed, Capcom has confirmed the next entry in the storied survival horror franchise is now in development. Development will be led by Resident Evil 7 Biohazard director Koshi. I'm just going to go with Koshi, who confirmed the new sequel in the course of talking about the previous game's mobile release, which apparently they just released 7 on mobile. So pretty cool. I know since Resident Evil 7, people have really been have felt like the game has got some new life into it and stuff, and a lot of it is because of this the guy who did all the director of 7 and everything. So pretty cool. Let me find this other article I wanted to find. So I know not everybody here is big into sports, and I'm going to kind of talk about this in a way that is not very sports related. Boys are on for Valheim, so I'm going to look. Hey, no problem. Thank you, Cyclo. So if you guys, most people know who LeBron James is, right? LeBron James plays for a team out in California called the Los Angeles Lakers. And recently, as of just like last week or so, his son, Bronny James, got drafted to that same team. The reason I wanted to bring this up is because it is going to be the first time that a father and son play on the same team. I think at the same time, professionally at the same time, at all, let alone be on the same team. Essentially, this is kind of like a once in a lifetime, at least for right now, kind of thing. So LeBron is playing very well into late age for a guy. He's essentially old as in basketball terms. I was gonna see how old he is. So he is 39, which is not old in general, but old as far as basketball players. So he's played so long at this point that now one of his sons will be in the NBA with him on the same team. Like I said, first time kind of ever. Really kind of crazy and stuff. Yeah, it's going to be really, 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 really interesting. I just wanted to bring this up. Like I said, there's not much to go on about outside of it just being really wild. Okay, so his son is going to wear number 9, which is not necessarily a big deal, but apparently he's going to be wearing number 9 to honor Juice WRLD. If you guys don't know Juice WRLD, he's a rapper who passed away a few years ago. Cool. That's gonna go ahead and wrap it up for the news. Thank you guys so much for coming and hanging out. I know it's a quick short one here, but appreciate it no matter what, and I will see y'all on the other side.